Hello, good morning. Today I'm feeling a little spicy, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive in. So this is for you if you are a business owner, you are a leader, right? You are impacting people. That is your desire, your drive. So you've built this incredible career or business, right? And yet here you are feeling like you're spinning your wheels. You're not quite where you want to be right now. You kind of feel a little bit stuck in a cycle. And to be clear, the people that are around you, that are working with you, that know you, they might not, I mean, unless you really, really tell them, right? They might not see you as stuck from the outside, but you really feel that internally. You feel like you're frustrated, and honestly, like it makes sense because again, you've done all of this work, right? You want it to be smoother by now. You want it to be more, um, you know, self-sufficient by now, right? So maybe you've hit a point and you're thinking like, why am I doing this? Right? Just to feel like I have the golden handcuffs, to feel stuck. This is not what I signed up for. So let me be clear with this. It's not your ambition that's the problem. It's not your work ethic. You know how to work. You know how to push forward. You've got the drive, right? But there's something deeper going on. So, and if you're willing to dig into it with me, you're going to find that that's the exact same thing that's keeping you from breaking through to that next level, to that life and the way that your business runs that you actually want, right? So, let's go ahead and dive in deeper to this. So, what's really frustrating is when you feel mentally and emotionally and physically resistance, like you are hitting your success ceiling. That's what I call it when you are kind of feeling like you're bumping your head up against the glass ceiling, whatever you want to call that. You're hitting a wall, right? And here's how it works. So, you've gotten to this level of success because of your drive, because you have grit and you have the capability, right? The capacity to do it all. But that same strategy is going to hold you back now. So I think about, if you're, um, you know, pushing a boulder up a hill, right? Like you really got to get some momentum there. But to get you up that that peak part, you're going to need a different strategy. You're going to need more support. And your brain, the same brain that has pushed you to this level of excellence, it's been wired for that hustle, for controlling things, for constantly problem solving. And again, while this is really good for building momentum and building a great foundation and getting things going, right? It's actually terrible for scaling it. Why? Because right now what's happening is your nervous system is stuck in overdrive. So um, it feels um, that you are stuck in this, what am I trying to say? You're kind of stuck in this go pattern, right? So it's wired to believe that if you're not doing more, that you're actually failing, which isn't true, right? We know this logically. And a lot of times it's not just about, your thoughts, it's about your feelings, your emotional state. So that's what I hear a lot of times too from folks that I work with is like, I know logically this is not true, but emotionally it feels true. That's the thing. That's the really important key point. So if you're feeling that, definitely take a note because we need to work on this deeper. This is a signal that we've got some underlying stuff going on. And so it's not just about mindset either, right? It's biology. It's literally your brain's reward system is now addicted to this busyness. And so every time you stop to rest, it might send you a little guilt hit, right? So if that sounds familiar to you, let me know in the chat, in the comments. So, you have this push or this feel like you need to be doing something, something for the business, something at home, something for somebody, right? And so when you are on this cycle, it's really hard to get out of that. Um, Here's the kicker. The success ceiling that you're banging your head against. So it's not external. This is all internal, and it's the way that your brain and nervous system have been conditioned to operate. So until you shift that, you're going to stay in the same cycle no matter how hard you work or push through. Now, I want to give you some hope. It is changeable. It's figure outable. It's definitely rewireable. This is what I do every day. So just know that it's all right. Notice the problem, but also we need to step up and do something about it. Um, I'm working with somebody right now who really feels that they're stuck in this fight or flight, and it makes it really difficult for them to be the visionary. So to be able to look around and say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, here's how I want to grow in 5-10 years, because it's almost like a survival piece at this point. So this is where I can come in to support you. We're going to talk about how, but this is where it's so important to do the mindset work. People sleep on this all the time. They want the systems, they want these tangible things, but really it's an inside job, right? So again, I know that you didn't get into this work just to work harder than everyone else. You built your career, your business to support you, to create a life full of freedom, to create impact, your legacy, right, and joy. And so instead, you're getting stuck in some of these issues where you're solving all the problems. You're maybe micromanaging your team or your contractors because you don't fully trust them. It's hard to fully trust, especially if you've been burned before. I totally understand that. Waking up with a to-do list that feels like it never ends. There's always something to do, always something to grow, right? And, the distractions, the shiny object syndrome adds to this. And let's not forget that concern voice in your brain that says, what if I drop the ball? What if I really mess up here? What if I lose what I've built? What if it all goes away? And especially if you are a breadwinner, that is some really heavy pressure that is put on you. So you're frustrated because you work too hard to feel this trapped, and it's valid. But here's the truth. You don't break through your success ceiling by working harder. You break through it by rewiring your approach. So again, what I want to encourage you to do is focus on regulating your brain and your nervous system so that you can operate at your peak performance level without burning out. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about recently a lot of the self-mastery, emotional mastery. This is what I'm talking about. So your success isn't about you doing more. It's about working smarter. It's about regulating yourself so that you can be operating at more of a neutral level. You can be operating more detached from the outcome. That takes away the desperation. That takes away the hustle. That takes away those things that are putting you in that fight or flight. So from that neuropsychology perspective, so peak performance typically happens when your brain operates in a flow state. So this is where you can tap into your focus, your creativity, your productivity, your capacity is available to you. However, you can't access that flow state when you're stuck in fight or flight mode. If you're constantly in stress, you're reacting, not proactive, right? And you're overthinking things, that's going to halt your ability to tap into a flow state. So that's the example I was talking about with a client who feels like they can't even get into visionary mode, even if they super duper want to, but they're really just trying to survive and get data done. That's not where we want you to be, right? We want you to feel good. We want you to even feel like you can take a step back, remove yourself as the bottleneck from the business. And so what you need isn't just another productivity hack or a system. All those things are helpful and important, but you need a holistic approach that is going to rewire your brain for clarity. You need to know exactly what to focus on. No distractions, right? Ease, dropping the mental clutter, the guilt, the emotional reactivity, and balance. So prioritizing rest, prioritizing, I know self-care is one of those general words, but truly caring for yourself in every single way. Because you are the leader. It is the most important for you to have a positive quality of life, health, mental strength, emotional strength, right? And all of this we can do without sacrificing the results. And I want to also remind you that this isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about shifting your approach to how you show up so that you can get more done, but actually doing less. So we're going to simplify things for you. When we work together, we're going to even look at how do we take more off of your plate in a way that doesn't feel scary, right? But is necessary and focused. So what do you really want out of all of this? When I talk to entrepreneurs, when I talk to millionaires, they want lasting legacy, something that you're proud of, positive impact, right? For me, I even put in my statements, like, I'm creating a positive ripple impact for generations to come. That is my goal. And a lot of times I do that by supporting leaders so that they can expand their impact. That helps, right? Impact a lot more people in a positive way. So you want to do all of this without sacrificing your health, your relationships, or your sanity, right? You want to wake up excited, not exhausted, not with a to-do list running. You want to have the time and the freedom to be able to step away and enjoy your success, to do what lights you up, to operate in your zone of genius. So whether that is scaling your business, whether that's growing it, whether that's scaling it back, because that's okay too. Spending time with your family. I just shared a post the other day, and it was about somebody who, it's like, some people may not think that this is a dream career shift, but it is. And it was, this person worked at Microsoft for 22 years, and then they were self-employed as a goat farmer. Like, these are the things we get to choose, right? When we are true to ourselves, when we know ourselves, and allow ourselves to act on these things, right? So finally taking that dream trip, right? There's a lot of desires that we have, and that's okay, and I encourage them. We need to make space for them and allow them. It's 100% possible to do this when you stop trying to power through the ceiling and instead lead with that clarity, the balance, and the joy. So in the program, in the one-on-one coaching program that I'm offering this year, that way to work with me personally, the foundational tenets are envision, again, the clarity, right? Align, so we're going to bring our energy, our mindset, the way that these things show up in our body, our somatics. We're going to bring all of that together in a way that's optimal. And what I mean by that is we're going to be digging into those beliefs that are holding you back. And, I shared an example the other day where, I thought that systems were my way, my answer to the stress that I was feeling in my business. So I had someone create a full CRM for me, and I started to use it. It was great. Then I stopped using it. And I'm like, what the heck? I just paid for this. This is custom created for me. What happened? And really digging in with my advisor, we were able to do the mental internal work that's so necessary, right? And I found that my behavior was avoidance. My emotions were, what is that when you don't care, right? Like, they were really not invested. I was a little afraid, right? There was some fear there. And that even goes back to the thought of, what's the point? Why am I even doing this? And that came from a belief, a deep-seated belief from a long time ago, that I wasn't enough. Which, again, logically, I know better, right? Logically, I can tell you, I have supported thousands of individuals with speaking, teaching, social work, therapy, right? And have been able to help them heal, help them grow, help them achieve their dreams, their goals, rather. And I know that, and I get positive feedback from it. So I know logically that doesn't make any sense. But this is the stuff that's creeping underneath that we don't know consciously, right? It's in our subconscious that we have to dig out and we have to look at, because here's what it is. The formula is your beliefs impact your thoughts, impact your emotions. They also show up in your body, right? And then that impacts your behavior. So I just reverse told you about mine, right? But that's the pattern that we want to find whenever you are faced with a result that you don't like, an outcome you don't like, or lack of results, right? Or a pattern that you're frustrated with yourself for. That's what we have to dig into. That's what we do in the work together. So I think of a really good example. I always think of her. So we know Sarah Blakely's name, the founder of Spanx. She's a great example. So, she, and I think she was the one also who shared that her dad, I think it was her dad, would come home and say, okay, how'd you feel today? Love that shift in mindset. But, she, did a lot of hustling at first, right? So she hit a major success ceiling after her initial breakthrough. And then she had a moment where she realized she got clear about her boundaries. She prioritized caring for herself because she was, also in that hustling part, and learning to operate more in alignment with that mind, body, spirit. That's when she truly scaled, right? So she talks about, you can find these quotes, about the importance of the inner work to reflect the outer success. She talks about how she used to push herself to that brink of burnout, working around the clock, hustling, right? Until she realized she was not going to be able to sustainably create this legacy that she wanted by living in this constant state of stress, right? And again, this is a common story. You could probably identify yourself in the story. I identified myself in this story. I've had burnout a couple of times, and this is where we have to learn the lesson, or it's going to repeat. So she began, she talks about where she began to prioritize, taking the walks, spending time with the family, meditating, right? All of those things needed to get her mind, body, and spirit in alignment to be that best leader that she could be. So when she rewired her approach to success, that's when everything clicked into place. And that's the third tenet, right? And we go back to the framework, the brain school framework that I created, that's the embodiment. When you live out these things, when you actually put these things into practice, instead of just say, okay, I need to, do some more self-care, right? When you embody all of this on a deeper level, when we've worked through those blocks in your subconscious that show up in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your body, right? When we work through all of that, you will then embody the confidence, the expansion, the flourishing, the success, that sustainable approach, the joy, right? That's what you're really here for. So you can be that visionary, you can be an achiever, and someone who thrives. So we can have it all. I'm gonna say that. we can do it. It's that approach, right? It's the mindset. So let me ask you, if you keep doing what you're doing right now, right? Whether it's that you are, again, feeling like you're taking on too much, feeling like you're the bottleneck, whether you are not getting your consistent revenue, you're really close to a goal, but you're not there yet, and you're kind of trying to push through this, just doing things the same way, with no real strategy, with no inner support, with more hustle, what happens? I'll tell you. You burn out, your relationships suffer. I have talked with a lot of clients who it's usually a problem in their business or their relationship. They usually have one area that's suffering. And so that's where we need to figure out the alignment with all of that. So maybe you keep spinning in that same cycle, again, wondering why nothing's changing. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? There's an aligned path, the one that helps you achieve your goals and enjoy the journey to get there. So that's where I come in. So through my coaching, I help high achievers. So like you, business owners, public figures, right? Rewire your brain for both peak performance and ease. I see a lot of the high performance habits and more of the masculine energy, more of the push and the hustle related to the peak performance. But no, we're not doing things like that. We are going to bring in ease and self-care and balance. And this is where I love the work that I do, because I'm able to help you to achieve both, and it starts in your mind. This is all those years of psychology, all the years of getting my license to be a therapist, all of the trainings, right? It all adds up to support you in this. We can also create the systems and strategies that are going to help you balance and free up your time and energy. So again, some people will go right to a business coach. I've seen it multiple times, and I'm like, okay, enjoy, I'll see you later, right? Like, because the thing is that it starts in the mind. Even with my example earlier, even if you have an amazing system, you can still talk yourself right out of using it or sabotage the success, right? And that is the internal stuff. That's where we get that self mastery. That's where we get the emotional mastery. So we're shifting out of the reactive, out of the hustle, into very intentional, visionary leadership. It's not about being perfect. It's about being able to respond to what's put in front of you. It's about being able to be proactive. It's about aligning your mind, body, and spirit. That's the stuff. That's literally your $1 million plan right there. That's your $1 million legacy or more, of course. So this isn't about working, just about working smarter. Obviously, we are working smarter, but it's about creating that life, the whole quality of life approach where you're thriving and not just achieving things, checking off goals and moving on. So you get to hit your goals, you get to build your legacy, you get to enjoy your life, have quality relationships. This is what matters, right? This is why we're here. So if you're hearing this and you're like, okay, it sounds great, but I don't really have the time for this right now. Let me remind you again, time doesn't wait for you. Your stuff is just going to continue. So think about it in this way. The sooner you work on those underlying patterns, the sooner you get to that life where you are feeling at ease, you are embodying ease. Okay? You're spending that time with your family. You're building your dream home, right? You're living in alignment. You're being able to give back more, whatever it is that you want to do. So here's the deal. So if you are resonating with any of this, if you are ready to break through this current plateau, income, mental, emotional, whatever that is, and you want to make sure that you're also having fun and enjoying yourself, you want to operate in your zone of genius more, I'm here to help you. So what I want you to do is reach out to me today. We're going to discuss what's the best way to work with you. I love creating custom programs, but I want to tell you about the 2 ways to currently work with me. This is more one-on-one, individual basis. So the Limitless Leader is a one-on-one custom coaching program where, again, we're utilizing those accelerated tools to rewire your mindset and approach so that you can have sustainable success, happiness, that peak performance plus balance in your life and your business. And there's only 5 spots for this for the year. So I'm opening up 5 year-long spots because a lot of my clients have a really great running start with 3 months. That's what we started with. When I started coaching, it was 3 months. A super great running start, got some goals achieved, kept it moving. Then decided, realized that there was more deeper work that they wanted to do. So I'm opening up the 12 months for folks. This is the only capacity that I can take 5 people per year because I have the therapy practice as well. So if you want one of these spots, please make sure to DM me ASAP. And that's going to be $3,000 a month for that coaching. The Leadership Mindset Academy is another choice. If you don't have the capacity for one-on-one coaching right this moment, this is a self-study program that's going to help you with all of the activities and the exercises to help you rewire your beliefs, prioritize your relaxation, tap into that emotional mastery and improve your leadership abilities. So there's a few different things we have in there, meditations, a lot of mindset. There's, speaking, different things like that to help you amplify your career as well. So please reach out. You didn't come this far to feel stuck or in golden handcuffs. You're here to lead, to thrive, to build your legacy. And I want to do this with you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.